Rolling on here now with BYU team captain Connor Pay. Now, Connor, you probably saw this. I would assume you did. You probably heard about it from your coaches. That big noon kickoff is coming to Provo, Utah. The last time that BYU has had a show of this caliber was 2009 when College Game Day came to town. I know that you guys in 2020 during the pandemic had College Game Day as part of your trip to Coastal Carolina. I actually got roasted about that earlier this week, so I forgot about it when I was talking about it earlier on in the week. But it's a big deal to have them in town. Does it change anything for you? I know that you're not playing in this game, but does it change anything knowing that the national spotlight's coming more and more on BYU?
No, not necessarily. I mean, we welcome it. I think one of your dreams as a college football player is to play in the biggest games on the biggest stages. That's part of the reason we do this, is to get that opportunity. And so, the good thing about it is, BYU has been a national brand for decades. And so we're not, it's not a foreign concept for us to play in front of a lot of people, whether in person or on television. It's pretty cool that the show's coming. They get to experience Provo. We're excited to have them get to experience LaVell Edwards in person. But the beautiful thing about football is there can be all these things around the game, all this stuff that's happening, but the field's still 100 yards wide or 100 yards long and 52 yards wide. It's the same game in between the lines, regardless of who's watching. And we're just excited for the opportunity to for people to get to see us, all over the country and watch us play and get to see the excitement of Big 12 football and the excitement of BYU football.
Now, the other part about this is I've had 3 or 4 people in these questions refer to it saying, well, BYU's history when they've had College Game Day and the like in town or having participated in games that College Game Day has been a part of, the record is not great. How do you guys go about, as you mentioned, kind of, I guess, embracing everything that comes with that, but at the same time focusing on the task at hand? That's most importantly winning that football game.
Yeah, no, we don't really care for that at all. I think this last week in college football especially kind of proved it, that every week is independent of itself. There's nothing that's happened in the past, whether it was last week, last year, multiple years, that affects how you play this week. It's about your preparation this week. You have to earn the right to play well Monday through Friday. And, because the same thing, we weren't supposed to win last week because it was during the daytime. Or some stupid thing like that. Whereas, that stuff has no bearing on actual performance. And it's about how we attack the week. It's about our mindset. We had some days off with the bye, got the body right, and now it's time to snap back into our mode and to earn the right to play well on Saturday. And I thought we did that today. I've mentioned it before that I feel like that's one of this team's strengths. Is our ability to do that and to operate each week independent of itself. I guess it's wonderful that we're 5-0, we're playing well, but that doesn't mean jack squat for the game on Saturday. And so, I think that's kind of the mindset that we bring. It's about what we do this week to prepare to play well. It's not about anything else.
Now, the question that also has been asked, I know that Reagan has asked a similar question. I'll actually use Reagan's question, but there's like 3 or 4 other people asked a similar question. It says this: has the mindset for BYU changed going into this week with all the national hype, or is it just simply business as usual?
Not a thing has changed.
Okay. Hey, I like that. I think Cougar fans can respect the fact that you guys are just approaching it like it's any other week. Now, the other thing about this is from Robert. What is the sentiment around the team about being nationally ranked? You're now inside the top 15. I think number 14 in the AP poll, 15th in the coaches poll. Does that have any bearing on you guys? Do you guys care about such things?
Obviously you have to care a little bit about it in the sense of it, a lot of it kind of controls your opportunities down the road. And so in that sense, for sure, you want to be highly ranked, give yourself a chance to either win a conference championship or be an at-large bid, to the playoff, So for that, in that aspect, of course, we care about the national ranking, but we don't really care about where we stand, like week to week, how we're moving, blah, blah, blah. We care a lot more about conference standings and a our pursuit of a conference championship. That's kind of more where our mindset's at right now. But like I said, if you think too far into that, you'll actually, in emphasizing a conference championship or a national championship, you'll actually kind of depart from what gets you there, in the sense that you got to be where your feet are. And so, it's great that we're nationally ranked. The only people who are surprised by that are people outside of the program. And so this is right where we expected to be. And like I said, we're just focused on, attacking today. How can we win right now? How can we win today? And how can we win tomorrow? Right. And preparing for that game on Saturday. So I think it's double-sided in that sense.
I can understand that. Now, Mark Parrish has got a good, follow-up to that, saying this. Simply put, what is the team doing to stay humble amidst all this success?
Well, I think a lot of humility is a mindset, in a lot of ways. And, one of the things, like, we got up in our players meeting today, we have one every Monday before we start. And, Tyler Batty and I got up in front of the team and just addressed a few things, about how this is just because we've been successful. This is when we need to double down on the details, not forget about the details. This is when it needs to take even more precedent in our lives, making sure no one's across the line when we shouldn't be. We're all finishing through the line when we should be, that every little detail is on its P's and Q's, because when you lack humility, you start to forget about the details. And you start to think, ooh, like I'm so good and we've played so well, blah, blah, blah. And you forget why you've played so well, right? Like, why are we 5-0? It's because of our ability to focus on the details and then, to go through each week, earning the right, understanding that we have no reason to be arrogant right now, none. Because 5-0 doesn't mean anything when we line up on the line against Arizona next week. They're not going to care. We don't care. And I think you saw that throughout all of college football this last week, some major upsets. Anything can happen on any given Saturday. And so I think just having that understanding and knowing that, hey, like, just because we're doing well, we have to work even harder now. Because every win in college football every week becomes more difficult. And so you have to double down even more on the details and what got you there, the fundamentals, and the work ethic has to improve. You have to practice harder. All those things. And I think the guys received that message really well this week, and just understanding that nothing that we've done before carries any weight on what we're going to do on Saturday. It's a reset, and you have to earn the right to be confident in the game on Saturday.
All right, last question in this vein comes from Clint. He says this, and I also Bryce asked a similar question. How does the bye week this year compared to what happened last year? What has the team done to ensure they don't come out flat like they did last year at TCU?
I think, to be honest, I think we had bigger issues going on last year than the bye week.
Okay.
I think that loss had very little to do with the bye week itself and more with some of the issues we had as a team internally. And I think a lot of that has to do with the mindset I've been talking about. The team last year did not have that mindset. And, and so I think it's honestly the same answer. Because that's one of the things that I talked to the team about specifically today is like, look, it's great that you had a chance to rest your body a little bit. We needed that. But sometimes it's easy because you had 3 days off or whatever to relax mentally. And now it's like, no, now we got to snap back into game prep mode. And it's time to fire up and get into our weekly preparation like we've been doing. And that was received very well, and the team was fired up to kind of get back into practice mode. This team loves the grind. They love the process. We're process driven. We're not results driven. We don't just love winning. Well, that's an amazing part of it. We love the process that it takes to win. The individual things that you do day in and day out to make you a winner. And so far this team has done that, and we've got to keep doing that. Because like I said, it's going to get harder and harder as the weeks go on to do that. And so us as leaders got to keep emphasizing it. Got to do it myself individually, lead by example. And I think that's kind of how you take care of that.